Alrighty, so let's go ahead and move on. So we did this one already.
We weren't done yet.
That's okay. We'll go right back to, or we'll make sure that you guys get those down.
We already did that.
You already did this one? Alright, so let's just...
You guys, we can skip it just for sake of time.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright. Cool beans. Good with me.
I told her she had to redo it, but sake of time, because I messed up this morning, we'll skip it.
This is the next, okay. Example 2. So, our first step is to find the M and A. So, who remembers how we're going to find M? It's on your very first step.
Do substitute.
Multiply 10 and 6.
Multiply 10 and 6. Very good. So, 10 times 6 is going to be what, Kelsey? Good. So, our M is 60. We used our first coefficient and our third coefficient. So, what does that mean our A is going to be? 19. Very good. Awesome, awesome.
Wait, what is 60?
10 times 6.
I didn't ask you.
So to find M, oh, sorry, I'll make sure that I write a little bit shifted over. I just noticed that. But to find your M, you're going to take your first number and your last number and multiply them together.
Okay.
And then your A is going to be that middle number. Okay? So let's find numbers that multiply to 60 and add to 19. We start at 1, so I have 1 and 60, 2 and 30, 3 and 20. Do I have anything that adds to 19 yet?
No.
All right. What about 4? If we do 60 divided by 4, what is that? 15, right? And is 4 plus 15 19? Awesome. So that means those are going to be our factor pair, our M and A.
Devontae, I thought you said Devontae.
All right, so now we can go ahead and we can plug in the numbers that we have. Remember that our 10f squared is going to go up here. Our 6 is going to go in this bottom box. And our 4 and our 15 can either go here or they can go here. It doesn't matter which one you decide to put those in. But remember that 4 and 15 to equal 19 has a variable attached to it. So what are we going to have to add to these two right here? A variable, right? We're going to have to add that f. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put 4f here. And I'm going to put 15f down here. Now I have all of my areas for each of my rectangles in my model. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to find my height for this top row up here. So to find that, I can find the greatest common factor of 10f and 4f. Okay? So what is the biggest number that's going to go into 10 and that's going to go into 4? If you need help, you can always do your factor tree. So I have 10, I have 5 and 2. 4, I have 2 and 2. Circle those prime numbers. 10 is 2 times 5. 4 is 2 times 2. I have a 2 in common with both of those. So my greatest common factor is going to be 2. But don't forget that you have a variable attached to these, so I have an f squared and an f. What is the least amount of variables that I have? Just one f, right? So my greatest common factor, which is going to plug into my height for my top row, is going to be 2f. So I'm just going to plug that in here. Okay? Just that top row. All right, now from here, Rihanna, what do I do? What can I do if I have my height for this row and my area? What can I find now?
Your width?
My width, right? Very good. So I have my height, 2f times blank equals 10f squared. 5, very good. And then I have an f, I need 2 f's. How many more f's does my width need to have? 1 more. So I have 5f there. For that width, go ahead and plug that in up top. Now for my second rectangle at the top, I have 2f times blank equals 4f. 2 times what is 4? 2, very good. I have an f, I only need 1 f, so do I need a variable with my width? No, right? So my width for that top rectangle is going to be 2. Now we can kind of switch gears. We have our width for this rectangle down here, and we have our width for this rectangle, but we don't have our height. So we know our height is going to have to be the same for both 15 and 6. So if we bring down the widths that we have, I have blank equals, or blank times 5f equals 15f. 3, very good. I have 3, and that same number should equal 6. So if I bring down this 2 for my width, oops, blank, 2, 3, that same 3 times 2 is going to equal 6. So then I can plug in 3 for my height for these bottom rectangles. Now I'm not done just yet. I have these blanks up here. So what goes first in this blank?
2f plus 3.
Thank you. Very good. My height goes first. So I have 2f plus 3 for my height. And then in this blank?
5f plus 2.
5f plus 2 for my width to equal my area that they already have given me. Very good. Does everybody have that? I still see some pencils moving, so I'll give you just a second. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go to the next one. Good job. How are you guys feeling about this? Nah. It's got a lot of different steps, but I feel like once you get going, you're like A-okay with it. Okay, this one's set up just a little bit different, but we're still looking for the same information. We're still looking for our height, and we're still looking for our width. So, first step is to find our M and our A. So what am I going to multiply for my M?
4 and 2.
Good. 4 and 2 to equal 8. Which means my A is going to equal the coefficient that I have left over, which is what, Nick? What's the coefficient I haven't used? Ace. Yep. Very good. So my M is 8. My A is 9. Let's do our factor pairs. So I have 1 and 8. Am I done there?
2 and 4.
2 and 4. And I think that's it. Which one of these two is going to add together to get 9?
1 and 8.
Good, very good. 1 and 8. So now with the information that I have, I can go ahead and I can plug my numbers in. So remember, 4g squared is going to go in this top box. Your number without a variable is going to go in this box. Ooh, that's really small. And then our 1 and our 8 get plugged into these two boxes, but don't forget that they have a variable attached to them up here. So this one is going to need a g, and this one is also going to need a g for when we combine them together for their like terms. So I have 1g up here, and I have 8g in this box. All right. Now that we have all of our variables plugged in, what is my next step? Or all of my areas, sorry, plugged in. What's my next step?
Find your height.
I got to find my height. Very good. My height for my top row, right? So how am I going to find that, Isaiah? How have I been finding my height?
Ain't you supposed to do? I think you're supposed to multiply your second coefficient.
So my second coefficient is going to be my A, but to find my height, I find my greatest common factor, right? Of the top row.
Oh, you do factor tree.
Yeah. Yep, you got it.
You're
You're all right. So I have a 4 and I have a 1. Do both of those share a number that they're going to have in common?
No.
No. But they do both have a variable attached to them. So I have 2 g's here and I have 1 g. What is the common amount of g's that both of our numbers have? Just 1 g, right? So our greatest common factor is going to equal g. Miss Lidikin, when they have just a variable in common, do you want them to put a 1g or do you just want them to put the variable? Or does it
doesn't
matter? Okay.
In all honesty, I usually try to tell them to put it in simplest form, but either way is an acceptable answer. I would get rid of the G personally, but if they have it, it's okay. If they don't have it, it's okay.
Okay.
There's a non-answer for you.
Okay. No, that's totally okay. Just making sure. All right, so now we can go ahead and we can plug in the numbers that we have for our height or our width. So I have g times blank equals 4g squared. What am I going to need in this blank? I'm going to need what, Kelsey? 4g. Very good. I need a 4g in this blank. I'm missing a 4, and I need another g to get that 4g squared. Very good. All right, now over here, I have a g times blank equals 1g. Yes, this one would be 1, right? So 1 times 1 is going to stay that 1. We already have a g, and we only needed 1g, so our width for this rectangle is going to be 1. We're going to go ahead and plug that into the top up here. And now that we have our width for all of our rectangles, we can plug that into these bottom ones, and we can find our height that we're missing. So I have blank, or whoa, yeah. Yeah, that's right, 4g. Sorry, I confused myself there for a minute, equals 8g. So what times 4 is going to equal 8? 2. Very good. 2 times 4 is going to equal 8. And because we're only looking for one height, we keep our fingers crossed that our height that we found for that first box is going to plug in for that second box. So my width over here is 1 equals 2. Blank times 1 equals 2. 1 times what is 2? 2. Very good. 2. So our heights are the same. We can go ahead and plug that 2 in over here. Make sure that you guys finish your entire picture. All right, that's going to be something that we look for on your quiz. And then we need to go ahead and we need to write this in up at the top. Now, it's a different way than we have been writing it in our first 2 examples. So remember, our area formula is A equals height times width. So if I'm plugging in height first, what 2 numbers am I going to put in?
1G and 2.
Good. So I have 1G plus 2, close parentheses.
4G plus 1.
Very good. Times 4G plus 1, close parentheses.
Okay, I'm gonna change it on you again. So once you guys have all this done, I'm gonna have Miss Melton go back to the first slide where you guys can get the 5 steps of notes, because that's gonna be huge. It's gonna be so important. I had us doing the opener, just kind of as a couple more example problems, but we're going to scratch that for this hour just because it's a late start, and then go ahead and pass out your worksheets. So we're going to go back to the page where it has the 5 steps, so those of you that didn't get it done can get those notes on. And then we're going to pass out your worksheets. You guys can start working on your worksheets, and then for this hour, we're going to scratch the openers, and then we'll continue kind of focusing on this lesson tomorrow, okay? Questions, comments, concerns?